Hey everyone, so today it is March 23rd. It is getting time where the fish are going to start moving and the cobia come in. The water temperature right now is about 64, so we're still waiting to hit that 70 mark. So today I'm going to give you all a little insight of what kind of rod and reel combos I like to use when I take my kayak out, and give you the whole setup of my 2016 Hobie Outback. So for the first thing, I want to show y'all what makes the Hobie so special is your Mirage drive right here. This is what you essentially are paddling with. You don't have to use your paddle, you can just use your pedals right here. This right here is just your standard Mirage drive. They do have the turbo fins, and they do have the ones where you can actually pull a cord and it will make these flip backwards, and that way you have a forward and reverse. These would go straight down into this hole right here, but for the purpose of that video, I'll show y'all later. The second thing, the reason why I picked the Hobie for being my kayak of choice of going offshore, is your turning. This will control the rudder in the back. Very simple. You want to go right, you want to go left. You pull this cord right here, and you'll make that fall down. You pull this cord right here, makes it come back up. I do want to show you on my kayak, I have upgraded the rudder to the sailing rudder. This is the one that it originally came with. As you can tell, there is quite a bit of difference. I have this box right here that I made. It's just like an average milk crate. You can get this at Bass Pro Shop, or you can just go to a gas station and ask if they have a milk crate. I have these rod holders on the back. I screwed into the crate. This gives you extra storage for your rods. When I'm going out in the Gulf, I always, well, not always, it depends on what time of the year it is and if I have bait. Usually I'm going out there, I'll bring some pinfish with me, and I bring this bucket right here. I have my aerator right here, that way they stay alive, and I always try to bring those if I'm going out for a grouper, sometimes snapper. Another thing that I use for my live well is this right here. It's called the torpedo. My opinion, it's not really worth what you pay. It's kind of cheap, but you know, you can make one of these with your own PVC pipe. I should have done that, but I have this one, so I'm not complaining. This, what you would do is you would stick it off the side of the boat. This works best for when I'm catching cigar minnows. It keeps them alive a lot longer than if I put them in my aerator bucket. And then what you do is you just keep it to the side. You strap this to something, that way it doesn't float away, and then you can always sink it, and that way you're not having a lot of drag whenever you're in your kayak. So with this kayak in particular, the Hobie Outback, I have the 2016. The reason why I didn't get anything earlier is because of this seat right here. The new ones are a little bit different, but anything, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's 2014 and below, their seats are kind of inside. You're not really sitting on top like this, and this seat comes out. It has different settings. You can tighten it up on your back, and if you want to make it sit up higher, you pull this, and there you go. Or if you want to sit down, you can do that. Also, whenever you're having these kayaks, especially if you're doing any fishing off of the beach, these are going to be a lifesaver. This is what's going to get you from the beach to your car. And this comes out. You'd stick it up underneath, right where these holes were, and you pick it up from the front, and it's easy roll from here to wherever. So for anybody that's going in the Gulf, you're going to need some sonar. This right here is the Lowrance Elite 4 Chirp. It does everything that I need and more when it comes to kayak fishing. It has a few options. You can always have your GPS, down scanning, and this right here is a really easy install. All you're going to have to do is drill a few holes, and this comes off very easy. You'd unattach this, your battery is in here or wherever you decide to put it, and all you do is turn it on, twist it, and there you go. So when it comes to your measuring tape, I always like to have mine hard. That way whenever I get my fish to the boat, I can easily stick them on here and not have to worry. They do have paper rulers, but it's such a hard time getting a proper length on him whenever he's flopping and you're in this kayak. This right here is my ice bag. This pretty much essentially a cooler for the front. Put my fish, put my drinks, whatever I want in there. This is my anchor trolley. I put this on myself. This, you would pull it. Well, you'd pull it. That way if you want your anchor up front, or if you want your anchor to the back. This is my anchor system. I'll have a video of how I made this. This is really just a diving reel and my anchor, and keep these on there so if I ever do have to detach, if I get on something big, I can detach it and come back for it later. When it comes to offshore fishing, it is a key to have everything you need when you're out there, because you can't just come in and out, it's a process. So I always bring me this tackle box right here. I can hold up to 3 plastic containers. This one's going to be with my top water, and you always want to make sure you bring 2 of whatever you think you're going to use, because I promise you will break off. This is going to be all my trolling baits, and then here's some of my spoons, some lipless crankbaits, and keep a few other things in the pockets, some of my sabikis. I do bring a buoy with me, even though I have my depth finder right here. Whenever you get on a spot, you can throw this off. When the current takes you away, you can go straight to it without having to concentrate on your GPS. This bag right here I keep with me, and it is very helpful. I keep all my leaders in here. They're already pre-tied, so whenever I do break off, I just tie it on, put my hook or whatever I'm using at the time. I got some wire leader in the back, and that will save so much time. This comes with your hatch. This is where I keep all my hooks and my weights. I'm actually about to install a rectangular kit. It's going to be a little bit of an upgrade. It's going to give you a little bit more room and a lot more space to where you can put some of these plastic containers in. Now I'm going to show y'all a little bit of my setups as far as my reel and my rods. This is my sabiki rod. This is what I catch my baits on, mostly cigar minnows. This is what a sabiki is. It's all these little hooks. And this is practically just a big tube. It doesn't have any eyes. You reel it up and everything goes inside. That way all those little hooks aren't just dangling ready to get tangled up, and a lot of times they'll get on your shirt and it's a hassle. So this is something that is I would personally say comes first before anything if you're going to bring a bait rod is making sure that you have a sabiki rod itself. This is the Spin Fisher 5. It's the 3500 series. I am absolutely in love with the Spin Fisher 5s. This is 20-pound braid on it. This is a Spin Fisher 5 as well. It's the 4500, and this has 30-pound braid on it. This is the Spin Fisher 5 5500, and this has 40-pound braid on it. This is the Spin Fisher 5 8500, and I have 65-pound braid on it, and I just put all new line on everything today, actually, because it is getting close to where the fish will be arriving soon. This by far is my favorite rod in reel combo. It's a Saltist. It's made by Dowah. It's the LP 40. And this has 2 gears, your high and your low. That's going to be low. Now you're in high. This is going to be your drag system, free line in it. And that is basically my setup with everything when it comes to kayak fishing in the Gulf. Thank you for watching, and y'all have a blessed day.